Hello YouTube, Kaitlyn here, and this is episode 3 of Q&A with KP. MacLeod wants to know how good or bad you are at sports. I am okay. I think I'm actually kind of better than average. I never really considered myself very good at sports as a kid because I was always just kind of in the middle at sports teams. I was not like the worst player, but I wasn't the best player either. It wasn't until I got into high school when apparently girls just decided they didn't want to participate in gym anymore, and I was like, I gotta make an A in this class, so I'm gonna work really hard. And I became like one of the best people to play in all the activities we did in gym. I also had a really good gym teacher. He was the football coach, and so he actually taught us how to play sports. So I learned how to throw a really good spiral and how to do jump shots in basketball and play tennis, all the sports we went through, and I became pretty proficient in each of them. Andre asks, how do I get over an irrational fear? I live in southeastern Virginia, but I have a fear of mountain lions. So this question made me look up whether or not mountain lions were actually in Virginia, and it seems like that they are mostly extinct in Virginia, but they are living in the country, so there's a very small chance that maybe one would show up in Virginia, but it's really unlikely to happen. So for the longest time, I had an irrational fear that if you sat on a toilet, an alien or a snake or some kind of monster was gonna come out of the tube and eat you starting from the butt, and it just But obviously it's extremely unlikely that that is going to happen, just like the mountain lions. But in order to get over it, it just took me exposing myself to where the fear was the worst. So just going to the bathroom and finding that I was not eaten by a snake or a monster or an alien. For you, it might be just going out and hiking or being outside and finding that, hey, I'm not being attacked by a mountain lion, and kind of reading up about mountain lions and seeing where they really do live and how to avoid them even if you were in that area. Just learning as much about it, I think, is where to go. Music girl Odalise asks, have you ever gotten back together with an ex? And do you think it's a good idea to get back together with an ex-boyfriend? Ooh, this one, I can't believe I've never made a vlog about this. I honestly don't know if I can recommend one way or the other, because I have gotten back together with an ex. It was something where we were 14 and 15 and we dated for a year, and then we broke up 8 or 9 months where we weren't together, and then we ended up getting back together and dated for another 2.5 years. There was also another guy that I dated for a couple months, and then we broke up for a few months, and then we ended up getting back together, but that only lasted for maybe 3 weeks until he was kissing some other girl, and it was a mess. It really kind of depends on why you broke up and who broke up with who. There's always going to be these questions of trusting the other, and if there was any cheating involved, then I would definitely say don't get back with that boyfriend. Doc Trower wants to know, if you were a guest at a social gathering, what song would be your entrance theme? The Riders of Rohan from the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. Go listen to it if you don't know it, if you can't remember it exactly, but I would come in with that theme playing on a chariot pulled by unicorns with the longest, most regal cloak ever, and you would all be in awe. Seth Isn't Here wants to know, if you could jump into and become a part of any story, whether it be a book, a TV show, a movie, which one would you go into and why? This is such a good question, and I feel like there are so many ways that I could answer it. I would probably use it to go into things like Pretty Little Liars or Once Upon a Time, where I would just fix all the stupid decisions people keep making and causing so much chaos, because that's what bothers me the most about these TV shows. I'd also really like to make out with Captain Hook in Once Upon a Time, so if I could just go in and be Emma for a little while and then leave, that would be good. But I think if there were a story that if I could just pop into as myself and be a part of, that would be Streetlights Like Fireworks, and I would want to just go on a road trip with Jack and Lauren across the country, doing cool things and, investigating mysterious ghost things, and I just love their story. It's probably the least drama-filled story there is, but it is so exciting and fun. They just seem like really cool people, and it would be really fun to be in their world. So that's all the time I have for questions today, because my battery on my camera is going to die. What do you guys think? Do you have any more questions for me? You can fill those out in the Google form at the top of the description, and if you want to talk about some of the answers that I've given, tell me down in those comments. Plus, remember to like, favorite, share, and subscribe if this video made you smile. See you guys on Thursday.